Oh, man, I need more light at Kinson. Hey, sorry about that, everyone. I got a terrible Wi-Fi connection, and it was not going on, so I had to come back into the house. That's good, son. Hey, son, in my bag, we bring that black bag over here. So I had to move from the pool here. Sorry about that. And can everybody hear me okay? I can hardly see in here, and the screen's not bright. Cool. Ellie, can you hear me? All right, I assume everyone can hear. Okay, great. Thanks. So been real busy this week. I closed 2 deals, and so now I got a new problem. I got to go find something to buy. So yeah, it's a cool thing. So I've got about 400,000. I sold one house for 561. I only paid 320 for that house. So there's whatever 340,000 profit plus. Anyways, I got 391 out of that deal, 390, and then cash. And I have to spend I'd spend either 560,000 or more with that money in order to defer the taxes. That's part of the rules. It's a nice loophole to defer taxes. And if I don't, then I got to pay 25% tax on that. Yeah, I know. I got a lot of offers. People want to sell me stuff, but I want to make money. And then I got another one also closed. Now this is one that I deferred money from into it, one that I hadn't bought, and I'm only making about 30,000 on it, maybe a little bit more. And this is one that I decided I could have made more, but the COVID thing got me worried. And so, instead of selling, like I said, instead of selling 4, I'm selling 8. And I got more to sell. I just had another one come empty. I actually had a COVID patient in one of the houses that I sold, or that I didn't renew their lease, and they just so happened to have gotten the COVID. I had another one of my tenants got COVID. She didn't even know. She said she just felt bad. And what's interesting is, for some people, they lose their sense of taste and smell. So that's kind of interesting. Anyways, we have another, for those in the mentorship class, we got another class, of course, Saturday, and the Q&A following. There's a handful of you that have said that it's not convenient for them to talk on Saturdays. So I'm trying to have this extra Q&A. I just threw that in. Danny, if you're out there, I hope you're watching. Kind of did this in part for you. But we can talk about questions on real estate, anything you got. The other thing is, particularly, Grant Cardone. This guy, why he focuses intent to get money from the little guy, I have no idea, other than they probably won't give him much trouble if they're unhappy. But my problem with Grant Cardone is he's always asking you for money, right? Everything is, trust me with your money. Trust me with your money. I'll never let you down. Why do you need to get money from, why do you need to get money from all the little guys? And, the worst part about that is that if you are a little guy, you've lost all control. You've lost all control of your money. Somebody else is holding on to it. Somebody else is in charge of it. Anyways. I don't. Yeah, go ahead, Casper. Ask your questions. Okay, so that's a good question. So Casper, also, if you're just tuning in, so look, I got a book, real estate, very popular book. It's the #1 on Amazon and Kindle. And as soon as I start promoting it, it'll be back up there again. I also have a mentorship class that's been doing real well. There's people in here, I'm sure, they can give you their opinions of it. But thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. So what Casper just wrote in the comments, he said, Tom, I have a couple of general questions. He said, when you built up all your real estate, was it slow and steady, or were there any big deals that got you to the next level? Well, here's how that goes. It was slow and steady. It was slow and steady. It was lots of little deals, okay? But when you invest, when that's all you work on, I mean, I had a job. I mean, I had a cabinet shop I started, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I had freedom. I could drop everything and go look at a property if an agent called me, or if somebody answered, one of my letters or something like that. I could just drop everything and run. And that's really, really important. Also, please give a like while you're here. Helps the the videos. But it's it's in the book. You should get the book, because really the book tells it all. I bought my first property, owner financed, and really I was just looking for a place to rent. But I met a hungry agent that was familiar with owner financing, and he had a client that wanted to get rid of the property, and it was just the perfect storm for me to make a great deal and learn. And that's what happened. Is I was 19 years old, and I learned something that some people never know their whole life, and that is just how easy it is to buy real estate and how easy it is to make money if you buy it right. And so it's I got the lesson early. I got lucky. I got really lucky that I sometimes you learn something and say, well, better late than never. Well, man, I got that one early. But it is better late than never for those of you that aren't in the game of buying and selling real estate. And again, you can get my book, and you can get started. This is $10 on Kindle, $20 on paperback, and you can see the reviews. There's great reviews. It's a great book. I wrote it, I know. Okay, and it's real. It's real. So many of these fake gurus out there, when they're trying to tell you and teach you something, it's completely hypothetical. They've never done it. Even Grant Cardone, I don't consider a very good investor, and I don't consider him a very experienced investor. Now, sure, he's bought a lot of apartment buildings with other people's money. And that's probably the worst part about it is, let's just say this is a property, right? Let's just say this is a property, right? This is a piece of property, right? What Grant does is he gets 25% of the money of what this property costs from you or people that would invest with him. And so there's 25%, he takes that from you, and then he buys the asset. The remainder that is owed is borrowed, okay? But it's borrowed in an entity by itself. So this entity can sink, and the only thing that gets lost is this money right here, okay? Or it can just not do very well, or it can barely make any money. And it's really no skin off his back, because he doesn't have any sweat in the game. He found the deal maybe, but from what I understand from people that I've talked, and I don't know for a fact, I haven't been through the paperwork, but the bottom line is it is other people's money to buy something. When you don't have any skin in the game, even when I take partners, to be honest, I own 2/3 of the deal. I own 2/3, so that they can rest assured I'm going to watch it like a hawk, because I own most of it. I have the most to lose. And that's really the kind of partner you want. You want a partner that has the most to lose. And that's my theory anyways. Yeah, he's a good salesman. I mean, you can define smart if that's good for you or if it's bad for you. It depends on what end of the stick you're on, right? And what here's the biggest problem with Grant is, look, he's got 32. He says he's got 3,200 investors. 3,200 investors, okay? I haven't seen one testimonial, not one, okay? I mean, if he had 320 testimonials, that would be 1%. 1%. So anything less than 300 would just be less than 1%, but it'd be nice to see one, that says, oh yeah, I made a pile. Grant knows what he's doing. I've never seen it. The only person that says they know what he's doing, that he's great and knows what he's doing, is Grant himself. And I've been busy mentoring, teaching people and putting my class together. So I haven't had time to make many videos lately, but I saw a Grant Cardone video the other day, And you guys can go watch it too. And I think it's really disingenuous video, to be quite honest. And this is why. It's watch me close a deal, or it's Grant Cardone takes a phone call. And I'm going to do a video on this, but the bottom line is he's got a guy that, is making a deal, making a sale. And then they hand him off to Grant because this guy's not ready to close. This guy isn't ready to close the deal. So Grant's going to come to the rescue and close the deal. Well, Grant gets on the phone and starts talking to the guy and says, well, how much money, do you plan on doing it? If you 10 times it or whatever, the story is. And in the end, Grant says, well, what if I could guarantee you, and I'm paraphrasing, but what if I could guarantee you, you're going to boost things $1.5 million? Okay. And then will you buy? And then the guy's like, okay. So he closes the deal. Now, here's the deal. Grant is the only one that could say that. It's like even, a lot of people that rent my units, I have a lot of property. People lease it. I pay leasing agents, and I have in-house leasing. I pay the agents that work for me to list stuff. They're independent. I have some that are full-time, or one that's full-time that works for me. Well, they can always make every deal, close every deal. Well, of course I can. I'm the owner. It's nothing big. I say, no, it's nothing against you. And that's what Grant's acting like. He came in here and rescued the day. I guarantee you, Grant does not let any of his employees promise a customer that we're going to make you $1 million or that you're going to do $1 million more in business. You know what I mean? No, you could never let your salespeople make a guarantee that they can't back up. And even Grant, when he said, what if I do it? He goes, okay, I'm going to put you over to Johnny or whoever on the phone, and then it transfers over to somebody else. And I guarantee in the end, he didn't promise him what he said he guaranteed on there. At least I can't believe it. So, but again, it goes back to what I said. Where's the testimonials? Where's the testimonials? Why should anybody invest with you, Grant, if you don't have any testimonials? I probably have more testimonials than he does. And I have people that have just read my book that have made money. You know what I mean? So anyways, I don't like it. All right, let's get some questions. Yeah, he does know how to leverage the internet. I'll give you that. Hey, Meredad, Anne Marie, glad you're here. Cool, man. Matt's got the book. He loves it. When are you going to do another? I'm going to do a mentoring class in September. I'm not taking any more at the moment, but I mean, you guys can still go in and sign on, but it's going to be in September. I got 2 weeks left in the one that I'm doing before. Then I'll probably take a week off and go somewhere, go do something. In all honesty, I've got to go find some properties to buy because I got another one behind this one. I'm doing a reverse 1031, so I really need to buy 3 properties. And hopefully it'll be a nice video to show you what I buy. I really don't know at the moment. All right. Oh, hey, Chris is here. That's good. Right on. Oh, God. Has anybody here ever invested with Cardone Capital? Does anybody know anybody that's ever made any money? I mean, somebody made a really great point the other day, and that is this. If you use my methods, which I'm the guy that tells you, don't invest with anybody, invest your own money. You're in charge of your own money, and you buy it, you get a great deal. If you're going to keep it, you can borrow against the equity that you've created by getting a great deal. You have the power to borrow against your equity. That's one of the biggest problems you have with the Grant Cardone type situation. If you invest in his fund and you go to a bank and you say, hey, I want to invest, I want to borrow money against my equity in Cardone Capital, they're going to laugh you right out of the bank. You're not going to be able to borrow against that. At least I don't think so, because you can't even really show what it's worth. It's not liquid. See, when you own the property, when you have control, you have the power to sell. You have the power to borrow against it. You know what I mean? You hold the reins. You can say, I want to borrow it. Here, I'm putting it on the line. You give your money to somebody else, they have all the control. All you get is a dividend, okay? And it may be a lousy dividend. So anyways, you lose believe me, much easier to take other people's money and risk it than to risk your own. And that's what I see Cardone Capital does. And, he did the thing walking around his classroom talking about open America. See this room, it's class. Well, all these rooms he's talking about that are full of people, what are they doing? What are they doing? He's not teaching anybody there. I've never heard him teaching anybody there. He's teaching people how to talk you into buying books, how to teach people into talking to take his course, how to teach you into investing in Cardone Capital. So again, it's a room full of salesmen. You got a giant room full of salesmen. I mean, it's not like a school of learning. And when he did this demonstration the other day, he's talking to a bunch of people that work for him. Of course, they're smiling and think it's great. But it's about closing a deal. He did a video on closing the deal, talking people into giving his company money. And he did that right in front of you to see. So, you think it through for yourselves. All right. You haven't missed much, Michael. But all right. So who's got anybody? Okay. Anybody got any deals going? Anybody got anything on the line? The market has been, I got to say, the Band-Aid, I always figured when the Band-Aid started to fail that things would start to dip. It hasn't been quite so much. Everybody's kind of, but I'm in an area that's pretty profitable and prosperous right now. But how long it's going to last, I don't know. We still see the restaurants hurting. They're bringing in more. I think a lot of it's political myself. Syndicated mortgages, I don't know much about it. I can't say that I do. If you're going to invest with other people, that's great. But if you want to, but I don't want to. I'd like to hold the reins. Yeah, Lance, I feel like it's going to dip too. If it doesn't, great, because like say I'm buying property, I need to, I didn't want to be too thin on capital. And so I still got more to sell. And I've got potentially another offer coming in tomorrow on something else, but I've got some really good properties too. And I have a lot of equity in them. So even I could go, you know what? I would have liked to make like the one I just sold for $560. I asked $625, but you know what? I'd have taken less. Okay, I would have taken less. The deal's done now. So I'm glad I got what I got. Lemonades have 2 more houses coming through, but want to assign them. Yeah, well, assigning's the safest bet there is. That really is the safest thing you can do. Lou, okay, you're asking about an arm's length foreclosure. Now, I can't say that I know a ton. I don't know that term. Arm's length usually means not attached to me. So I assume it means a foreclosure that has nothing to do with you. Like it's truly, doesn't have anything to do with you. But I don't know. And the prop stream's a powerful tool, and I'm still playing with it. Again, I showed you guys where you can get a lot of that information for free anyways. But prop stream, if you're going to comb a lot of area, it's pretty powerful. It looks pretty good. And I guess I should probably have a link below. But again, I don't really try to make money off you guys. But I do have an affiliate link, and I'll stick it in there later today. If you guys want to look at it, I'll get credit for it if you do something. But again, get my book first. Get my book first. Listen, you got to know what to do with data. You got to know what to do with it. And you can have all kinds of data, but you got to kind of know what to do with it. But yeah, Lou, I wish I'm going to be digging in a little bit more with that one right now. And one of the other ones I showed you, because I am very intent. I'm also I think I'm going to fly to California and look at a little beach area that I'm fond of. I might buy a little beach home. You can see sales prices that are non-disclosure. Yeah. Well, look, I don't want to give away too much in the public here, in the stuff that we're doing in the mentorship. So I'll stay quiet on some of the power of some of that stuff and the way I would use it. I'm not going to tell you the exact formula I would use for screening. We've already talked about it in some of the classes, but I do that to protect you guys. No, listen, Falcon, you just got to get educated. Do you have the book yet, Falcon One? Do you have my book? I mean, get the book because it's simple. It really is simple. Yeah, you got to pay your dues and you got to do some work and you got to get to know value. You got to know value. Number one, you got to know value. A lot of people would like to think that, you can go to a seminar, pay somebody $20,000 and they're going to download you with information. No, they're going to give you a download. But, again, really, it's about work. You got to do the work. And that's what you learn in my mentorship is you just learn to work smart and do the right things. And it's pretty common sense. But it works. Yeah, get the book. Otherwise, you're going to be lost with what everybody else is talking about here. All right, Aaron ended up locking in a contract for 2 properties. I'm going to assign them. Wow. Have a few people coming to look at it tomorrow. Hey, man, congrats. That's cool because, see, that's what's neat. And so Aaron's about to test. He's going to test himself, really. He's done all the right things to make money. And the way he's going to know he did everything right is if somebody will pay him an assignment fee to take his position, because that's how you know. That's the thing. If you do it right, and that's fantastic. You'll be my, might be my first mentorship testimonial. I've got plenty already from the book and from the free videos, but it'd be nice to have a mentorship one. So, if I can help you, but it sounds like you're doing all the right stuff, Aaron. It's awesome. You don't have to. Well, listen, you got to pay tax on income. The question was, do you have to pay tax on deals you assign? Yeah, of course you do. You pay tax on every penny you make, right? Nobody beats the tax man. I guess if somebody paid you cash and you didn't claim it, I'm certainly not going to recommend that. But I can hide a dime if I wanted to. Everything I got is reassigned and deferred, and it's, anyway. But all right, so Lance, he has 12 properties, but I'm always willing to learn. So if the book is worth it, I'll get it. Yeah, get it, Lance. You're risking $10. Marley, get the book. Listen, so many of the people that are already in this group, I know them by name. They're in my mentor. They're paying big bucks, okay? And they're not in here complaining about me, so I guess that's something, right? Paperback is $20, but I've been buying and selling real estate. Hard to believe. I've been doing it for 39 years. I started when I was 19 years old, 58 now. And, I got about 100 and whatever, I sold some property now, but I probably 120, 130,000 square feet of rentals. And, even with a big vacancy, I still got plenty of money. Still, I still drink what I want. I pay cash for kids' cars. I pay cash for my kids' education. Their college tuition comes. I don't finance it. I pay it. I pay cash for houses. And it's a different world. And I'm well aware of the other world, of not and having big decisions and having to finance big things. And, and I come from, believe me, when my family said, when I was a kid and the parents said, hey, I'll give you an example. So this is about 10 years ago, and somebody I know laughs when they talk about it. They said, what are you going to do for vacation? I said, we're probably going to go to Hawaii again, or we're going to go to Hawaii. And my kids, my boys or my girls, I don't know which, I have 4 kids. One of them says, not again. And those kids, their kids overheard it, and they looked and said, did they just say not again to go into Hawaii? But I've taken my kids to Hawaii, Mexico, the Bahamas. I love the water, and I love vacationing, and we've taken some fantastic, we go for 12 days or 15 days, and sometimes even hop in a small plane from one island to another and stay. We've had some fantastic vacations. My kids still probably don't quite appreciate them. They don't love the beach and some of that stuff as much as I do, but oh well. But I guess what I was getting at is, I know when my parents went to Hawaii, and I remember very well, because they talked about a Hawaiian vacation, but it did not include the kids. They were just figuring out where we're going to stay, which grandma's going to watch us, right? So Lance, sounds like you've done all right. Yeah. It's you don't know how. I remember having nothing. I lived in a trailer park. In a trailer park, that's where all the, when people divorce, the women and the kids go to the trailer park, and the husband usually goes, lives with a buddy somewhere else. And that's kind of what the story was. I lived with just my dad. My parents were already divorced, so it was just me living with my dad, and he lived in the trailer park. And so he was a stud. All the single women with kids were there, and he was Mr. Fix It. And so if something broke, everybody went to dad. Let's see. Jose just finished reading the book, and he's going to go read it again. Yeah, that's always a good idea. Listen, I even enjoy reading my own book, and it's funny because I've been doing the same thing for so long, but sometimes it's just good to keep yourself on track and remind yourself of what to do. And when you write a book, you really think it hard. You want to get everything out that's important. And I don't know how to make fluff, and I can't stand. We all have books like that we've read, and we can't get through them. This won't be one of them. Everybody tells me they sit down and they either read it straight through, or they're anxious to get back to it. Just like that's how a good book should be, right? You're anxious to get back to it. And, what next? And because you're learning, you go back and you reread because you want to know, you want to get it down, you want to understand it fully. And anyways, but thanks, Michael. You're doing the right thing. And Leon, he's on his second read. That's good. Yeah, good stuff. Also, hey, give a thumbs up if you just got here. Again, I'll take anybody's question on anything. But everybody's concerned about the market. Here, so check this out. I'm in two different title companies, and I asked them both the same question. I said, "Are you seeing things fall off? Any concerns?" And they said, "No, we're not really seeing as many." They're not seeing as many refis, but they said, "We haven't been slow." Tom, they go, "We've been doing pretty good." And I said, "Is it mostly the under $300,000 homes?" And they both said, they go, we don't hardly see any of those, because in the neighborhood I'm at, it's upper, it's a lot higher than that. And she said, no, she said, most of our closings are 500,000 to 3.2 million. And I'm like, wow. And another buddy I had talked to today that I hadn't seen in a while, and he said, and he's got a couple of homes that are worth a few $1 million, and he's a wealthy guy. And yeah, he said that the last house he bought, he said, he just got an offer for 1.7. He only paid $1 million for it. And, it just is what it is. There's some people that have a lot of cash. There's some people that have made a lot of money. And the stock market has bounced back, by the way. Stock market has bounced back. So in a huge way. The economy is good. Here's the difference. We had a downturn that wasn't a bubble busting. You know what I mean? We didn't overbuild. It wasn't all that stuff. We just had COVID come in, and we had a pandemic upset a very lucrative market. And really the people that seem to mostly be out of work are service industry, right? Restaurant people. They're the ones that suffer the most. And they're the ones that don't make all that much money. Anyways, they don't make a lot of money. Maybe the owners, do decent. But when I owned a restaurant and bar, I did terrible because I hated it so much. But So really, when you look at it that way, you can kind of see where, maybe it's just going to be just a little plateau. Not, things have been going up, not even a dip, but a plateau might feel like a dip a little bit, but it's not. It's not. And if you're only taking out the service industry, pretty much, that's not a lot of the big money, and so maybe it's going to be insignificant to real estate in general. You can tell I think aloud. I see people that have YouTube, stations like this. I'm not afraid to tell you that I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I'm sure of, is that I don't know. And I can tell you from experience how I feel about the market, how it's doing right now, and it feels good. It hasn't dropped as fast as I thought it would. I ditched some properties, and I'm continuing to sell properties. I'm not going to hang on to. I kind of wish I had held on to this last one I sold for $300,000, to be honest. But the two others that I sold, I made good deals to people that work for me and that are friends. I don't feel bad about those. I'm glad there's some meat on the bone for them. But I'm going to continue to sell these $500,000 homes that I got. I want to be rid of them. And but I intend to buy other stuff that will have a greater return. And, you can buy stuff, if you can buy something commercial or you can buy something that gets a decent return, whatever that number is to you. Some people are concerned, like manicuring, the nails. I have massage parlor tenants. They're surviving. They're doing okay. The barber shops, they got shut down for a bit. They're doing okay. They're coming back. They're coming back. The gyms, I thought they might have been done. They got hurt, but guess what? They're coming back. They're figuring it out. And so people got hurt. And, if these cities, I don't like this second wave. I think a lot of this is a bunch of political BS. I think that, every time there's and you'll find this out as you're an investor over many years. Okay. So I've been through 10 elections, right? And I can tell you, every year that somebody's going to get elected, the opposing side wants the economy to suffer and suck, and they'll do anything they can to damage it because they want the person in power to be blamed. It wouldn't matter if it was a Democrat or Republican. People, either side would drag their feet and do what they have to do to make the economy suck and be bad up until December. So that if they win, then they can come back and take away all the drudgery that they put on the economy and say, oh, look, we saved you, but our economy was very strong before this COVID stuff. And, if you go to CNN, all they talk about is coronavirus. They don't talk about anything else. And, I see people making money and growing and building and doing things. And I don't see anybody talking about that the economy really doesn't seem to have been too shook up yet. It's been a very, very mild thing with the real estate. It would seem to me so far. All right, Lance, good for you. You won't regret that. Yeah, I think we're all sick of the Corona talk. Oh, cool. Gabe bought a motorcycle under value. Another guy walked up, paid in 10 minutes. Huh. Oh, 10 minutes later, he would have had it. Oh, no, Gabe, you lost it. You bought a motorcycle under value. Another guy walked up right when I paid. Oh, so you got it. Yeah, you stole it. That's where you want to be. I'm glad to hear it. So I like it. Gabe's quoting me. I say time kills deals. I've said this for 30, 40 years. Time kills deals. You miss them by minutes. You miss them by hours. You can miss them by days. And the other thing is extending. Like when you go to buy something and you don't close it, you're just waiting for somebody else to take it away. Somebody else is going to get it. You got to be the first one, the smartest one to go do it, get it. That's awesome, Gabe. That's really cool. Yeah, he missed by 10 minutes, right? It happens. It happens. All right. Hey, going to the gym. That's great. You know what? I have not done jujitsu in 3 months. And other than I wrestle my sons. And so that's nice. Yeah, to get some exercise again would be great. Yeah, Lance. Lance, well, you figure it out. You can read the book. You know, it's funny. I got something coming out. You'll see this guy, and this guy, he basically does a side by side, basically, my book against Grant Cardone's book, and I'm going to actually re-review that and bring attention to it. His name's Jeb Fuller. He's a smart guy, and he's got a YouTube channel too. If you guys want to look him up, his name's Jeb Fuller. But he's a smart guy, and he's kind of funny too. I've never talked to him, but he's probably one of my biggest fans, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. I don't like to get political either, but you know, the economy is money. And the fact is, every year, whenever it's an election year, they try to ruin the economy. They just do. I mean, one side tries to keep it up, but the opposing side does everything they can to destroy it, because they know ultimately gets blamed on the president. And that's the game. That's how it's played. And both sides do it. So I'll talk to you about rentals. You know, I had a 4,000 square foot vacancy, and I just got it filled. And one of my tenants in another building, I have another building, one I built actually, it's like a 16,000 square foot building. I had two tenants. One tenant only had about 2,500. The other one had the other, 14,500 or whatever, 13,500. Well, that one wanted to expand. They gave me notice because I allowed them the ability to cancel with a certain amount of notice. And they gave me that notice. I said, well, wait a minute. Why? What's the problem? They go, well, we need a bigger place. I said, well, hey, let's talk. And so they like me as a landlord, by the way. And this is really interesting. This is really good. I've had many tenants that chose me, even though they liked another property better. They rented from me because they liked me. So one thing that I do that's different than a lot of landlords that are of my size or capacity of holding property, I know my tenants. I can close the deal with the tenants best of all because, and like I was trying to say, it's not that I'm the greatest closer, but I own the asset. When you own the asset, you can go, yeah, sure, I'll throw this in. Oh, we can move that thermostat over here, so you have full control. So you have, you're the most comfortable in the room, or you know what I mean. Sometimes you have big buildings and they share thermostats. Ideally they don't, but because it can be a problem. The men will say, it doesn't get cold enough in here, and I'll go in there, and the guys are wearing t-shirts and the girls are wearing sweaters, freezing. That's just how it works in the office environment. What else? Yeah, be sure. I know some of you guys got questions for sure. Hopefully everybody can be there Saturday. Man, we've had the best Q&A. I got to tell you, really, really love the Q&A. And there's so much in there. There's just so much in there because I'm remembering things that have happened from 30 years ago, 20 years ago, all valid. But some things will only happen to you once in your life. There's just some things but it's an experience, and you'll be able to, use that information. Yeah, cap rate, heck, mirror. That's basically just look, if you paid cash for something, and at the end of the year you saw how much money you netted from that cash, you'd be able to determine the cap rate. You'd figure out what percentage you made on your money. So when people say it has a 6 cap, the cap rate's 6%, it means, I'll give you an example. If it's a $3 million asset and it has a 6% cap rate, it means you make $180,000 a year on that $3 million. Or to make it simple, just say $6,000 on 100,000. Yeah, John. The good thing, I'll tell you, if you miss a meeting, listen. I like to watch videos in high speed. Just about anything I watch it in high speed. I bring it up to at least 1.5 speed if they talk fairly quickly. If they talk slow, I'll take it to 2. And just so I can, as long as I can understand it, that's what I do. And a lot of times if I'm going to look at a video to review to make, if I'm going to go, do a review on some real estate guru, then that's what I'll do. I run through it quickly. And, but yeah, so those you asking about the mentorship, I will do another mentorship program. And there's a lot of people in this chat right now, that are in it. And that's one of the reasons I did this. I sent everybody that's in the mentorship. I threw them an email. If you guys didn't get the email, by the way, I threw you an email, short notice, but saying, hey, I'm here. But I can't wait to see you guys make money. And I'm real anxious to see that assignment that you're working on. And I'm glad Gabe made a deal. It's a thing. He made money on a motorcycle. That's part of it. You can. That's why I called it FlipAnything. And if you remember, I have a free app. The FlipAnything app you can get for free on Google Play. And oh, wait a minute. You know what? Somebody told me that it fell off of Google Play. I'm gonna have to double check that. But it's anyways, it's free if it's on there, and you can get it on also the iPhone store. Yeah, if you can bundle them, that'd be great. Do you own all 12 of your properties in the same entity? Just curious. Oh, Leon, it's there, huh? Yeah, because if in the app that I made, I have 3 different calculators that you can go to. Like there's interest only and amortization schedule, and there's things that just kind of help you figure out numbers quickly that I put in there. And that's free. But I'm making a page within the members area that does the same. And I had to have the guy that made the app give me the algorithm to give to my web guide. So hopefully the calculators page will be done soon. The other thing that's kind of cool, check this out. I don't know if we got it figured out yet, but in the members area, we're chapterizing. I'll call it chapterizing. So like even in the Q&A, we'll make a note of this is the question at 9 minutes and 10 minutes and 12 minutes and 15 minutes, so you can quickly get through and find the information you're looking for. If it's on owner financing, you'll be able to find the various topics in all the different videos, and it'll shortcut you there. No, David, I don't think so. I mean, there are a lot. Here's the deal. I think they'll do short sales before they do foreclosures. That's what I think. I mean, if people don't pay their bills, they're going to get foreclosed on eventually. But if people work with the bank, I think the banks, I think they'll just end up doing short sales. And here's the other thing. The economy seems like it's going to be a soft downturn. So there may not be a reason for foreclosure. If they're not making their payments, that's one thing. But a lot of times foreclosures occur on properties that they paid too much for. That's why I never paid full price for anything. You can pay full price and the market dips and now you're upside down, especially if you're a first-time homeowner and you buy with 5% down, which is a product the banks do for just about everybody on their first-time buyers. It's an FHA loan or whatever. But so there's not a lot of, first home buyers, usually make the worst decisions. And it's really important, and by the way, if you haven't bought a piece of property yet and you got a decent job, go find out how much you qualify for. Go find out how much a bank will loan you and how credible you are to a bank to borrow money, because that's power, especially if you can buy with just 5% down. For 10 grand, you can buy a $200,000 home. You just got to find a $250,000 home that somebody's going to sell for $200,000 and tie that up. And that's kind of what my book's about. And so, the day one when you buy, you want to have equity. It's like I talk about the first building I bought. Right after I bought it, the for sale sign was still on the building. I was up front, pulling weeds or something, I don't remember. And a guy pulled up and says, hey, what do they want for the building? I said, oh, it's not for sale. I just bought it. And I told him what I paid for it. And he said, hey, I'll give you $20,000 more. And, I was like, wow, I was excited. And because I thought, wow, I made money. I made equity. Didn't make money, but I made equity. But that is what made me go and just keep looking and finding deals. And then I started assigning them. And when guys like that would say, hey, I'll give you 20, I'd say, sure, I'll take it. You take the property, no problem. And that's what you can do, is you get between what somebody has and what somebody wants, and you're in the middle, right? You make the money. Yeah. Ega asked me, will you be buying property soon? Yeah, I have to. I have to identify two right now. I need to spend $1 million between two minimum, but hopefully I'll leverage that some. I wouldn't mind paying anywhere from, I can tell you my banker, I wrote her, and I wrote actually several agents. In fact, I'll give you an example, right? Because this is good. I don't mind giving some of this away for free to you guys, but I always have. Oh my God. Okay, so here's what I got. I wrote one of the agents that I deal with, and I said, hey, Jay, Tom here, hope you're well. I need to leverage 350 and 400,000 twice to different entities. I'd like to buy something right there in at about $1 million for each. Also, I could buy something for 3 to 4 million, but I'm looking for an opportunity, of course. But my main concern is buying something right now, because I have to take 350 or 300 from one and 400 from the other, or 390, whatever. And I need to reinvest that. So that's why I was letting him know, hey, you got anything? Because once in a while, I bought probably 3 buildings from Jay at least. And he wrote back, he said, Tom, we'll keep an eye out, but got nothing at this time that looks good. He knows I want a deal. I do think some deals will come up in the near future. Think some businesses over leveraged and might sell some real estate. Well, so that's pretty interesting. So I'm going to read that to you again. He says, I do think some deals will come up in the near future. I think some businesses are over leveraged and might sell some real estate. So it makes sense to me. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Ben Mala, I looked at, I'm on his, whatever you call it, the Instagram, and he was crying about, he's got 800 hotel rooms sitting empty, and or was it 800 employees and a bunch of hotel rooms empty, one or the other. But he needs to get back to work. I mean, believe me, I'm sure he got a giant Band-Aid. And that's one of the reasons he's recovered so well, and he's not screaming. But the Band-Aid is, it's almost time for it to come off. And if it comes off and he's still got all those vacancies, he's going to be screaming. And it sounds like he's starting to now. And I understand that. Believe me, I've been losing money too. The Band-Aid I got didn't help my real estate. Well, I take it back. It did, because when I say the Band-Aid, I mean the help that everyone got. I had some people that couldn't pay me any rent, and then when they got their PPA loan or PPP loan, they paid their rent. So I was made whole on a lot of stuff that I wasn't sure I was going to. Then I have some people that didn't seem to qualify for any PPA aid at all, or they didn't figure it out. And so they were truly hurting, and I've made some concessions with them to help them get through. But look at, now I'm filling up, like look at Zoom. Zoom went through the roof. What a great name, because that's what the stock's done, is zoomed up, and it's a fantastic service. I love it. I've signed up for it myself. Some businesses prosper in tough times, or when there's some sort of disaster, like this pandemic was a disaster. But Zoom's making money. One of my accounting tenants, they're expanding. They're more than doubling, or doubling their size, I should say. They're doing well. Their business went up. And so now I'm hoping that we make out too, because like Jay just wrote me, he suspects there's going to be deals because he thinks businesses are panicking. I guarantee you, people that are holding a lot of land are going to be nervous. The banks, I know some people that are going to get loans, and they're saying, yeah, the bank's dragging their feet, and they're saying, like, they say they still got more PPP loans. I don't believe it. What the bank is doing is they're waiting to see if this person has a job in 3 months or 2 months, or, they're dragging their feet to see how people are affected. And, even my banker, I talked to her. She called me today or texted me first. What'd she write? Let me see if I can tell what she wrote. Yeah, she's ready to loan me money to buy land, which is, I'm pretty, just so you guys know, that I don't owe very much money on my overall package. I mean, I can borrow and pay cash for something. And that's like, to me, that's, but I mean, I'm borrowing it against another property. So I'm creating, debt against my overall portfolio. But in general, I don't owe but probably 25%, on my property. Even if the value goes down, it won't come out to more than 30% if values drop or not. But the bottom line is I can withstand a pretty good beating, a big vacancy rate, and that's a nice place to be. And when you get older, and I'm older, you don't want to lose that advantage, because you don't want to, I mean, I've been leveraged to the teeth before, and believe me, and some of you probably should and could do that. I'm not saying do it while things are possibly in a declining market, but when things are rolling along good and you don't foresee any problems, and it's a healthy economy, it's okay to leverage. I mean, you might buy something and go, man, you know what? If I can get to get through this next 6 months, I think this property is going to be worth a bunch more, because maybe there's a development that's going to enhance the area, something like that. And you have to make those decisions whether you can withstand holding that property if things go bad, because you become a speculator. And like I always say, if you don't sell it, you're buying it. In other words, any of my properties, and that's the question I ask myself. And like on my $300,000 property I just sold, I wouldn't have paid it. Like I say, if you're not selling it, you're buying it. I probably wouldn't have paid 300 for it. I might have, maybe I might have. It's really close. It's on the line. And that's how it should be when you're going to decide. The problem with me selling it is I'm forced to have to go buy something else now. So I would have rather just kept it, but I wanted more cash in my pocket, and I still want more than I have. So I have no regrets, but I'm just giving you my thoughts on the things that go through. And sometimes they are hypocritical thoughts. It's like, hold or sell. You have to decide for yourself what you can handle, how much you can hold on to, because only you know how much you make. Not some people make a lot of money. Like I talk about Meet Kevin. I think Meet Kevin has made some terrible investments, and he can afford to make bad investments because he makes about $100,000 a month on YouTube, right? And that income is probably going to stay steady because he's a fairly stable product. He works his butt off. He's constantly putting out content that people eat up. And it's probably, for him, hopefully there's another stimulus package, because he seems to make a lot of money on talking about it. Let's see here. Yeah, my boys are getting into stocks. They love stock. Real estate is not my kids' passion. They're probably going to inherit a pile, but they love stock. They love the stock market, and they have their own accounts. I mean, they're my accounts, but they're trading, and they are making money, and they are doing the right things. And actually, I'm really impressed with how, I told them, I said, you know what, if you don't go to college, and actually I told them, it doesn't matter to me if they go to college or not. I didn't even finish high school. So as long as I can see that they're going somewhere, because believe me, you could, like me, I dropped out of high school, right? By the time my friends got out of high school, I was an established business. I had a cabinet shop that was established. I'd already bought a building. Now, you guys know the story on that. I made real estate. I already found my way. And before they were even out of school, some of them. Yeah, Lance, Tom, are you telling me that even in a booming market, seller's market, that you can find great deals out there? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of that, Lance, is, listen, that's where you get a lot of the greatest deals. And the reason is because when you're in a booming market, you're in a rising market, okay? And so what happens is people check periodically their portfolio. What's this worth? What's that worth? What's, And they go, oh yeah, well, last time I looked, it was worth 200,000. And what they don't realize is today it's worth 300. And so then when you knock on their door and say, hey, I want to buy it, and they say, well, what do you give me? And you go, well, I might take 200,000 because that's what it was worth last time they looked, but it's worth 300,000. And believe me, it happens to everybody. And people that inherit money, it's the biggest, most squandered wealth there is inherited money. And I know because I've benefited. I bought property from people that sold it way too cheap because they didn't realize that it's an emerging market and, increasing value, and things went way up and they didn't do their due diligence. They didn't check on the values. But it's actually, that's when you find the most deals. But Lance, if you're talking about seeing stuff on the MLS, I mean, no, I'm not. People can actually get fatigued if they have it on the MLS for too much for too long. And then when like COVID or something like this happens, they panic and they go, screw it, priorities. And they'll sell something too cheap. I may be guilty of that a little bit. I sold a few things. I cut them quick because I have a saying I got from one of my old mentors, and that's Henry Booker. And he says, you can never get hurt taking a profit. Can't get hurt taking a profit. And that's fine. A friend of mine, he sold a couple $1 million worth of Zoom. No, not Zoom, Apple stock. And I don't follow stocks at all. He told me that today. And he said he sold it, I don't know, for 240. And he said now it's worth 370 or whatever it is today. Some of you guys probably know. I don't know. But he says, you know what? He goes, I don't regret it. He goes, I pulled out enough money that I could live comfortable for 10 years. And he's got a lot of money, but he just wanted to have that much cash out. So the market kind of, he sold it. Yeah, if he'd have kept it, he'd have whatever, 30 or half again as much. But, that a lot of times the way you look at it, the way I look at it, these properties that I'm selling right now, even if they go up another 20% before things get hurt, or let's say before there is a bubble that breaks and then they go back down. I might be going, gee, if I'd have held it a little longer, I could have made another 20%. But if it breaks and starts to fall, as long as I get it within 20% of the value, in other words, if I sell it for 20% less than what it's going to be worth in a year from now, it's not that big a deal to me because I know what it's like holding out for more and then having something just kill it. And then all of a sudden, I regret that I didn't sell it. So you can never get hurt taking a profit, and there's always going to be another deal. There's always going to be another deal. And I know the mentality of thinking, damn, or you miss a deal, your first deal that you work on and you lose it and you go, oh man, I'll never have that happen again. Not true. As long as you're looking, you're going to find deals. I promise you, you'll definitely find deals. It's like anything else. So I'll give you an example, an analogy of that is, okay, I have a company that makes movie making equipment, right? And so you think, okay, well, everybody knows about this. It's in every magazine in the world. Everybody's got one of these things now. It doesn't matter because there's some other kid that's just turning 18 and 19 and 20 and their interest. In other words, adults are being created that are going into business that need certain equipment. There's adults being created that need real estate, right? There's new buyers always growing. You got to remember, it's the USA. We have people coming in from all over the world trying to take whatever money they got. They pull it out of their country. They come in here and they want to buy something. So that's why there's always opportunities will always continue to present themselves because we're not dead. It's not like everybody just stays frozen in time and this is what it is. Everybody's dying off, which creates opportunities. Properties sell when people die. And of course, on and on and on. Yeah, well, I know some people that everybody they knew in college or everybody they knew in high school went to college or, 3/4 of them went to college. I don't even remember talking about college until I was in my 20s. And as much as talking about it, it's something I never did, and now, I would say 3/4 of my friends are college graduates and have some sort of skills, whether they're doctors or whatever. Yeah. So anyways, but like I say, my boys, I'm just not a big fan of college. I mean, I got a daughter that has one of these rooms that is just for her office, and she makes great money. I mean, great money. She makes good money. She makes good money. CPAs make good money right out of school. They're very much in demand, and they can go on to superstardom and make really great money too. But she doesn't make great money compared to me, and she's got an education, and she paid her dues. She went to school for 5 years. I mean, I couldn't even get through high school. I couldn't stand the fact that, I could be making $4 an hour or $2 an hour or whatever it was. It just drove me crazy. I mean, I'm thinking, God, I could make $20 today if I left school at noon. and I did stuff like that. So anyways, that's it. I don't know. We're going to have the class. We're going to have question and answer Saturday, and another lesson, and excited. Everybody's doing the right things, and you're going through your data, and you're going through your you're focusing in on your areas, and everybody's just, I'm really happy with the result. And Gabe, that's cool. Just even making a deal on a bike or motorcycle, or any kind of thing is fantastic. And I can't remember who said they're flipping a property off the top of my head, but it'd be nice to see how that turns out. So that's it. I guess I'll call it, unless somebody else has got another question. I'm going to call it a night, and try to get a video out tomorrow on something. Right. Hey, Anne Marie, thanks, Lou. And I'll be interested to hear what you have to say in the Zoom meeting, Lou. About your experience and your thoughts. I mean, you can cover a lot of data with that program for sure. But do you need to? Do you need to? I mean, I always say quality, not quantity. Yeah, I understand, Ellie. I do. How many kids do you have, Ellie? Yeah, thanks, Leon. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's okay. Listen, you bought the book. If you want to take it up a level, that's fine. If you don't, that's okay too. You got to be a member to get in the Zoom meeting. That's only for the people that paid for the mentorship, which was $600. Right on. Thanks, Cyrus. Thanks, Ellie. Well, 3. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a handful. Yep. It's fun. I miss them when they're young. I got 3 in the house right now, 25, and I got 2 boys that are about to turn 17, and I'm just not as interesting as I used to be. Just how it works. Cool. Hey, thanks, Max. All right. Well, hey, have a good evening. If you just got here, like I said, get the book, Flip Anything. And the book is Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It'll be the best $10-20 you ever invested. It'll open your eyes, and you're not going to regret this. But you could regret a lot of other stuff that you spend money on related to real estate. But this will help you make better decisions. All right. Thank you. Oh, 3, 8, and 9. Wow. Wonderful. That's really cool. All right. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, Chris too. Got toddlers. Oh, man. Yeah. Does it get easier? I don't know. I mean, it's all, it just changes. You know what? It's just different. When they get older, it's different. It's funny. Kid Rock, I remember listening to Kid Rock in an interview, and he took his son and a buddy to the movie theater in New York. And they sit down kind of toward the back, and the kids already had a plan. Sit down with dad and then leave him there and then go up to the front. And he's like, well, what are you guys doing? They go, Dad, we don't want to sit with you. They don't want to sit with their parent. And he's like, man, I'm like the coolest guy in the theater. And not to his kids. And that's how it goes. And it's a joke now when the kids say, Daddy, Daddy, when I come home, because that's what they used to say when they were kids and meant it. Anyways, it is what it is. Wow, yeah, 19, 22, and 23. Well, that's closer to where I'm at. I got a 25, a 22, and twins that are about to turn 17. Yeah, thanks, Shorish. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? When we get through the deal, but if you guys want to give me some testimonials on the mentorship, that'd be cool. You can email those to me or whatever, and I'll be posting those. I'll plaster those on the page where I got the mentorship going. But what's going to be cool is after we get, you guys did the 1 month thing, but you're still in for a year. We're still going to have things going, but I'll get started with another class eventually, and you guys will be able to pop in there and check on, with new questions and share. But what I'm looking forward to also is the fact, and I've already see it happening, is you answering other people's questions. I think it's great. You guys know I don't like people sharing within their community, meaning their neighbor and their friends. It doesn't help you. It's not going to help you get rich and make deals. Telling people you buy property is good and making the deals, but you got to do it on your own, or maybe do it with just your husband, or but what's kind of cool is in the community, in the VIP circle on my site, you guys can share and talk strategies and ideas. And you guys are going to come up with stuff that I've never come up with. That's how it works. I've come up with stuff that nobody ever told me. That's the thing. I always try to tell you, there are no rules. You make the rules. So you can negotiate any kind of deal with any kind of terms that you want. And somebody likes you, they'll bend over backwards to help you get what they're selling. And that's how it works. But you can go in the forums, you guys can share with each other with no threat of somebody stealing. Believe me, greed is there. Greed is there. When you show somebody how much money you're making, that you're your next door neighbor or whatever, believe me, they're happy for you. But guess what? They want some of that, and they could end up taking some of that from you. So it's kind of nice that you can, we got our community of investors, and founding members that we can share with, behind the scenes, because we're no threat to each other. We don't know where each other live, and you don't have to share those kind of details. But if somebody's in South Dakota and you're in West Virginia or whatever, it's safe. So anyways, of course, that's just me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. My daughter and her friends. Yeah. That's how it goes. Yeah, I know. Believe me, I just got cheated out of a vacation. I wanted to take everybody this week. I want to go to California, or I want to go to Colorado. And all of a sudden everybody's worried about COVID. And I'm like, are you kidding? Come on. But whatever. It is what it is. All right, man. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. You got to put those kids to bed. Let's see. Your daughter started reading. Oh, so that's great. Oh, yeah. George, my boys have no passion for this, but my boys, they trade 4 or 5 hours in the morning, and then they watch YouTube videos on trading for another 4 or 5 hours after that. And they do this every day. It doesn't matter. Weekends, whatever. I take them in the car, we go somewhere, and I took back, and, they're looking at, a graph, but they have a passion for it. And that's great. Oh, listen, Avery Ranch, you got a lot clearing the cedar like you're talking about, which sounds interesting to me. Maybe I'll buy that one from you. It appeals to me, the name. Send me the details. Maybe I'll buy it from you. But, the bottom line is you're there to make money, but congrats on getting a lot. And if you own it, now you got the power to hang on to it long enough to get the most you can get for it. Yeah, Darius, do you have my book? I don't know. Do you have my book? The double close thing. I've done double closings, but you're probably assuming I have no details that I can't know from your question? I mean, you got to find a buyer. Yeah, you got to find a buyer. Yeah. And you got to have Darius, you got to have a contract. You got to have a contract. You got to have the rights to buy it. You don't have anything. If you don't have the rights to buy it, you got no power at all. So you got to get it under contract, and hopefully you got it under contract with a great deal. But anyways, Abdullah, let's see. My friend is hounding me to find a deal so he can invest. Yeah. Hey man, well, that's good, man. You're gonna learn. Just don't burn yourself out. You're gonna make some mistakes. Like I said, quality is everything, and you want to take time to make sure everything's perfect. But you're gonna kill it, Cyrus. I know you are. You're way too hard of a worker. I see it. You're at every Q&A. You're serious about learning, and that goes for Anne Marie and so, everybody that's in here. We know who you are, and you're doing the right things. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it, and what's cool is you might make just a home run deal right away, or you make just a pretty good deal. But either way, it's the right direction if you're making money. So, all right, thanks. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys Saturday. And I'm going to try to get a different video out. Myself also. So let's see. I'd like to close this thing. Maybe I'm not going to be able to. Here we go. In stream. All right. Thanks. Have a good night, everyone.